All right, so anyways, thank you for joining me today. I'm the Vice President of Customer Engagement at WalkMe. I've been there for about a year and a half, and before that I worked at several SaaS companies. I've set up 4 onboarding programs in my life. I've also probably onboarded nearly 1,000 customers myself. I was the first person hired at JobVite as a customer success manager. I've also onboarded customers as far away as Zimbabwe, Singapore, Japan, Australia, and local customers as well. A little bit about WalkMe, for those of you that don't know what WalkMe is. It's an online engagement and guidance platform. You can think of it as a GPS for the web that walks customers with tip balloons through any process, so onboarding, training, and sales conversions. Today, like Shen said earlier, I'll be talking about the foundations of customer success, but I didn't just want to talk about my story. I wanted to use some case studies. So I'm going to focus on rural Canin in Canada because I too am Canadian, like our last speaker, and Citrix. And then I'll leave you with some key takeaways about the onboarding programs. So I learned this from someone I used to report to not long ago, and he taught me that onboarding is really either the beginning of the end or the beginning of future opportunities. And I'll use Tatango as an example. If you go to their website, they have many examples of how a customer can churn, and it's even during onboarding. So I don't know if some of you have picked a platform, you think it's the best one, and then you're onboarding and you think, oh no, I've made a mistake. This happened to me a couple years ago. I was working at BrightEdge and implementing an application across 80 CSMs, and the onboarding was supposed to take 30 days, and we were at nearly 90. And my vice president was saying to me, what is going on? Why aren't we live yet? Something's wrong. And so I called back all the other vendors and I interviewed them again and had a turning point of, do I fire this vendor and pick another platform? So onboarding can be really the beginning of the end. It also is the beginning of many opportunities. And I'll use WalkMe. The last 2 quarters, we had more cross-sells and upsells while customers were still in onboarding. It was a record and historic for our company. Our customers were so happy during onboarding that they said, wow, what else can we use WalkMe for? We purchased it for Salesforce, but what other applications can we use it for? So if you're building a good onboarding program, you can actually use that opportunity to expand your current customer offerings. Onboarding, we know, is not easy. And I say if you're starting an onboarding program, give yourself 90 days. Don't try to change things quickly. In my own experience, I use 30 days to just experience what customers were doing, what the current onboarding program was, which they really didn't have one. And then I talked to the executives and, of course, the customer success team. I inherited a customer success team of 10 CSMs, and then I've recently grown it to about 35 CSMs and onboarding managers globally. So I listened first, and I actually, before I joined WalkMe, I interviewed with a big hot startup in the Bay Area, who shall remain nameless, and I asked them, I said, why did you fire your head of onboarding? It was to head up 110 onboarding managers globally. And the CEO or the VP of operations said to me, well, this guy came in and put in all these changes, but he didn't listen to the customers or the CSMs and what they were doing. And he put in all these changes and he didn't earn the credibility that he needed, and he didn't learn the current process. So I say learn the current method first, and then pilot your ideas later. It's so important to build credibility, not just with your CSMs if you inherit a team, but the other teams. So for me, my biggest challenge was winning over the sales team. They were used to doing things a certain way. They wanted to be CC'd on all the emails, and they really wanted to own the customer. And I needed to really build my credibility before our VP of sales said, all right, I feel comfortable putting customers in your hands. You no longer have to CC our sales team. And that was a huge victory for us. So build your credibility, not just with your team, but over-communicate with your entire company to make sure that they buy into your ideas. For me, I used the Salesforce method, the way Mark Benioff, he wrote his V2 Mom on a napkin. I used PowerPoint. So for those of you who don't know what it is, I encourage you to look it up. It's an easy way to communicate with your executives. It's your vision. Why are you doing this? What is valuable for you, your valuables? What methods are you going to use for your onboarding program? What obstacles do you currently see with your onboarding program? What do you see in the future? How will you overcome them? And then how are you going to measure yourself and your success and your company's success with your onboarding program? So what I did is I looked at tools to help scale our onboarding. I realized that with the number of people we had on our team and the number of customers coming in, I couldn't hire fast enough. For any of you hiring in the Bay Area, you know how hard it is to hire customer success managers. So I used tools. We used, for communicating with our sales team and tracking our customers, I built a success object in Salesforce where we can track all our information. We use Google Drive to communicate with our teams globally. Half our team is in Israel, and another portion is in New York. We have a team in Australia. So how do we collaborate? We chose Google Docs. Within Salesforce, I really wanted everything tracked in terms of our communication. So sales didn't have to email me and find out where the onboarding was. And implicit is the tool we use. So everything we email customers is automatically tracked in Salesforce. What you're looking at is a WalkMe for WalkMe widget. So our onboarding program is in there. Our CSMs don't have to remember what to do next. They're onboarded themselves with this widget that lives right in Salesforce. I also set up templates that are automated. So not only for the sales team to welcome the new customer and to introduce the onboarding manager, but also the customer success managers have templates. And I realize it's a little small, but each email I have written, it's customizable, of course, before the CSM sends it out. And then the presentations that they show the customers are already PDF'd and attached to that email. So I've automated the onboarding program so that our onboarding managers can spend time listening to our customers instead of writing an email or trying to remember what they've shared already with the customer. I've kept it really simple. I think this is so important. We tried many different ways of onboarding customers. We tried the 90-minute, here's a ton of things WalkMe can do, here's why our product is going to help you, and it didn't work. Customers, especially if you're inviting the decision maker to that first call, don't make it more than 45 minutes. I feel like I'm lucky if I can get the head of MasterCard to be on a call with me for 30 minutes. So if you're thinking about building an onboarding program, make it simple. Show your customer what they're responsible for. So you can see I've really simplified it here with 5 simple steps. The last step is go live. So we really made the first one that we want the decision maker to come to because it's all about listening. We listen to the customer. We confirm the KPIs that the salesperson has told us. That's one of the requirements. Sales cannot hand off a customer to our customer success team unless they have a phone call with the new onboarding manager to ensure that they're on the same page. It's really built collaboration between sales and CS as well. On the right, it shows that who's responsible for what. So it's easy if you know that the customer has to deliver something to you before you get to step 2. It's an easy conversation when you pick up the phone and you tell them, you told me on the first call you want to be live in 30 days. It's day 19 and I still don't have your deliverables. How can I make you successful? And you can refer to something like this. Last thing about this program is I branded it. So brand your onboarding program, put it on your website, make it a differentiator between your product and others. Surveys. I love surveys. I don't over-survey our customers, but I do send an NPS score once a year. And then after every onboarding experience, I send them 5 simple questions. I give them an incentive with an Amazon gift card. And I share these surveys once a quarter with the customer success managers and with the executives. It is a great way to learn what's working and what's not. For anyone who scores our onboarding under 8, I call the customer and find out more about them and thank them for giving their honest, candid feedback. I feel like the lower scores I've learned from more than the 9s or 10s. I also encourage our onboarding managers to tell their customers during the executive review of the onboarding and them going live, looking at their statistics. I tell them, don't be afraid to tell your customer that they're going to be getting a survey and we'd like them to evaluate the onboarding experience. This also allows you to change your onboarding experience quickly and with good reason. You can go to your executives and say, here's why we're shifting our program. And in fact, right now, we're making some changes based on last quarter's feedback. The surprising results, one of my big mentors taught me this. It's okay to have those uncomfortable conversations with your customer. You have to hold them accountable for what they promised you. If they tell you they want to be live in 30 days, and that's what sales sold them, it's okay for you to have those uncomfortable conversations. You also want to share their onboarding experiences with other customers. That's been some of the feedback is, I wish I would have known more about how other customers are using WalkMe. So now I'm on a mission to get more case studies and references of customers, and I've built a section in Salesforce that sales can add this information, CSMs as well, and then when customers are asking for, well, how are other companies in my space doing this? I can quickly go in there and give them real information. This is also a hard one when things are going wrong. I don't know how many of you have worked with a sales team that has promised something you can't deliver. It's not the most exciting conversation or comfortable conversation, but I say have it as soon as possible. Pull in whoever you need to back you up if you don't feel comfortable, and then figure out a solution. Sometimes you have to give the money back. It's not a good fit. I've had those conversations, and it's probably the best thing to do for your reputation. But other times, and I'm doing this right now with a customer, they want onboarding in person. And I said, great, come to our office. Come spend 2 days with us, see what we're all about, and we'll pay for it, and let's get you onboarded on the way you want. So there are many different ways that you can have those conversations to make them happy. What I would have done differently, I feel like I've learned this the hard way, but I don't know about you. I feel like slowly my mind is turning into that Twitter mind of I don't have a long attention span. So our onboarding with those 5 steps, the first call only has 8 slides. It's always about listening to the customer and what they need. Why did they buy your product? What are their biggest pain points? Let's get them what they need quickly, and then let's worry about showing them all the other things your product can do. Let's worry about getting them in the LMS and training and learning everything your product does later. The number one thing they want, if they said they want to be live in 30 days, they want to be live in 30 days with a product that will alleviate their biggest pain points. Here's a picture of a happy customer. I love getting these pictures. All our customers receive a welcome box, and unfortunately, we can't ship them outside the US. So if you're a customer that's in Canada, they're only for our US customers right now, but you can see they get a letter from myself and our CEO. They get a book, a water bottle, and sunglasses. And I love this picture of one of our customers. I had to tweet it. So I want to talk a little bit about Royal Canin. Canin, it's a Canadian company. I had to pick one from Canada. But I wanted to use a little bit of a different case here. So they had an onboarding program. They work with veterinary partners in Canada, and they have thousands of partners. And they rolled out a new portal. So their interest is taking care of animals, not learning technology as their number one interest. And what the sales team was complaining about is we're spending hours training our customers on how to use this new portal. Help us. We don't want to be onboarding managers. We want to spend time with our customers learning about their business and what else we can be doing with our product. So what they decided to do was enable self-learning for the customers and help them with contextual help in the portal to show them, here's the old way you were doing things, here's the new way that you can do it in our portal, and it's better, and here's why. And so now these customers, instead of spending 2 hours with the salesperson learning the new portal, they're being onboarded on the new portal by themselves with contextual help in the new platform. It works so well that they ended up doing auto-enablement for all their new customers, not just ones switching to the new platform. And then the other case study I want to use is Citrix. I don't know if everyone knows what they do, but in this particular use case, it was for GoToWebinar. And they did an A/B test with customers who they call them trialers. So for the first 30 days, you can be onboarded on their product if you want to use it for webinars and test things out. And what they found with the A/B testing is the customers that were onboarded with contextual help in the product, guiding them through the items that were differentiators, help them convert to paying customers. So in this scenario, you don't have to wait until they're sold to start onboarding. If you have a product that you can show them some unique differentiators in your product that will help them buy the product, why not start onboarding earlier? In this case study, in this case study, the user actually called 60 customers a day while they were doing the A/B testing to find out what was working, what were their pain points trying to set up, and they ended up moving forward with contextual help in their product. So key takeaways, I won't read them because I have very little time left, but my key takeaways are, if you have an onboarding program, call your customers, get buy-in from your team and your executives on any new ideas that you're going to trial, and then try several different ones before you agree on one that you're going to move forward with. Even if you do have an onboarding program, it'll probably change again in a quarter or two as the industry shifts and your customers' needs change. That's it. Thank you.
Brilliant. Brilliant. All right.